The 275-acre farm has been a fixture here for 121 years. Best College Reviews has ranked Warren Wilson the #1 college farm in the nation, evaluating everything from its size to sustainability.
It's not just an example of a farm, it's a real farm, and the students here have vast and complicated responsibilities.
Farm work gives them a rare skill set, a character-building experience that cultivates something in themselves they never knew they had.
It's a pretty awesome opportunity to have.
In Swannanoa, John Lee, News 13.
Within 6 years, Asheville Farm School had an enrollment of 140 students. The school grew despite local and global setbacks such as the flood of 1916, World War I, and the Great Depression. In 1942, Asheville Farm School merged with the Hot Springs-based Dorland Bell School and became a co-ed secondary school, and thus Warren Wilson was established. For over 20 years, Warren Wilson operated as a junior college, but in 1966, it gained recognition as the four-year college we know today.
You would be standing in 100% 30-foot tall river cane right now, 158, 200 years ago. You would be walking through this like a cornfield. All the way out until the lands just started to gradually go up. This would all be river cane. The Cherokee used it for fodder for animals. It's high in nitrogen early on. This time of the year it's not that great with nitrogen, but early on the young shoots, it would be great for, they'd use it for wattle fencing also. You put up wooden poles and then you would weave this between them. They would do that in England also. That's where the wattle fencing came from. I'm not sure what the Cherokee would call it. But what they use it for, mostly now from a craft perspective, is to weave baskets and ceremonial mats. So this is river cane. You can pass it around. I work with Dave Cazzo. Dave Cazzo is
Thank you.
He's out of NC State and he works closely with the Cherokee on their river cane issues. So it's used for ceremonial baskets and it's used for these mats. One of the things they're doing, and goes on with all traditional knowledge, a lot of the younger generation isn't into it anymore. So they've started some competitions in the high schools to get younger people to try and learn the weaving. And it's really taken off from what I understand. The young, 13 to 16-year-olds are weaving beautiful mats and beautiful baskets. As you walk down, there's some bigger patches. And we're measuring them and trying to understand. We have them GPS to try and understand whether they're expanding and contracting. And we're trying to rehabilitate these areas as a demonstration site for river cane cultivation and propagation.
Igayi uwani histi askotstati. Jaskila hiskotstane hesti utanayai. Ama hina johe hesti utanayai. Juntana yani wani ha unane laki gesesti ani wani stani. Kano igai idita neti yiki juntaneya.
In the earliest levels from the Middle and Late Archaic, the artifacts we find represent a lifestyle of hunters and gatherers, people who were living here intermittently, living in small camps while they traveled through the region. Later in the woodland period, we find the beginnings of small villages. And finally, in the Mississippian period, we find settled permanent towns with palisades surrounding the houses. The Swannanoa Valley has lots of resources, natural resources. With the site situated right here, they were able to take advantage of transportation routes along the river. They can make their way up into the mountains easily for hunting and gathering. And later, during the Mississippian period, they were able to farm the expansive bottomlands with the rich alluvial soil. Some of the features that we look at during our excavation are called pits. These are holes that have been dug into the ground and filled with refuse or used for cooking. And archaeologists find a lot of important information from excavating these pits or features. And we may find evidence of foods, either from hunted animals or from wild plant foods. And these included chenopodium, marsh elder. What's really interesting is that the fact that nuts from nut trees, like acorns and hickory and chestnut, probably provided more calories for native peoples than they got from hunted animals.
Jaskila iskotstane hesti utanayai. Ama hina johe hesti utanayai. Juntana yoni woniha nane lakike sesti mani woni sky. Kano igaidila idida neti iki juntania danafno heska. Utana.
The Warren Wilson site gives us a lot of information about the Mississippian period agriculturalists as well. From about 1200 to 1500 AD, as the Mississippian village was occupying this area, people used the bottomlands to farm. And we find evidence from those features that are filled with the refuse from their meals, find evidence for corn and pumpkins, beans, squash, tobacco. These people were full-time agriculturalists. We study archaeology to understand the past. We try to understand people in the past. And here at the Warren Wilson site, those people are Native Americans. And it's important to understand that while we have occupations that are thousands of years old, the Cherokee Indians of today are descendants.
Igayi uwani histi askostati. Jaskila iskostane hesti utanayai. Ama hina johe hesti utanayai. Juntana yoni woniha nane lakike sesti mani woni sky. Kano igaidila idida neti iki juntania danafno heska. Utana.
This is a common scene for all of our powwows throughout all of the indigenous countries and the nations. The grand entry. Long before the red, white, and blue came into existence, all of our native nations being represented in this fashion, in this way, the traditional eagle step that is being carried in by Mr. Swimmer from right here in the Eastern Band. A great way. The flag of all of Native America, the staff adorned with eagle feathers. And of course, behind our eagle staff, we have the local Stadium here, American Legion host. Doing the honors. They have every year that I have been here doing the honors, and I believe with their commander. Oh, man. Always here, always can count on them. Thank you, veterans, thank you. Mr. Warren Dupree, thank you. And our royalty from right here, the Eastern Band on the inside and outside of the arena. And right in the middle is our Miss Indian Oklahoma. The grand entry
igayi uwani histi askoltati. Jaskila hiskoltane hesti utanayai. Ama hina johe hesti utanayai. Juntana yani wani ha unane lakike sesti ani wani sky. Kano igaidita idita neti iki juntania danafno heska. Utana igayi uwani histi askoltati. Jaskila hiskoltane hesti utanayai. Ama hina johe hesti utanayai. Juntana yani wani ha unane lakike sesti ani wani sky. Kano igaidita idita neti iki juntania danafno heska. Utana igayi uwani histi askoltati. Jaskila hiskoltane hesti utanayai. Ama hina johe hesti utanayai. Juntana yani wani ha unane lakike sesti ani wani sky. Kano igaidita idita neti iki juntania danafno heska. Utana